So the first thing that we have to do is just scribble it out. Find the gestures that you want to make, and then make them. Be aware of curves, modulating. Here's another modulating curve. You see the shape and frequency of it changes over time, and so once you can modulate some curves, you'll be able to do the ultimate thing that we're trying to get to, which is draw a vanishing point freehand. That's what I've done here. A vanishing point is an asterisk that all other points line up to. And that's what we're going to be doing today. But we've got a lot of scaffolding to do in order to get here. This is mastery. But if you can do this, draw that cube, you're going to be okay today. If you can learn to draw the cube, you're going to be okay today. So let's finish up our warm-ups. We did curves, we talked about modulation, and now we'll get some straight lines out of the deal too. Try to get quick, clean series of straight lines at different angles. What I find is that if I change the angle of my paper, it's actually a lot easier on my hand. So you can warm up as we do, as we always do. You can warm up. Okay, let's resume. I did the warm-up, and now we gotta do cubes. So I'm sure that you have your way of drawing cubes. This is usually the first way I remember learning how to do it. I think other people do it maybe this way. And then there might be some other methods that that people choose, but the point is that there are a couple of different approaches and things that you should understand if you want to be able to control the cube. So let's talk about just starting out with some squares. They don't have to be perfect, but they should be as square as you can get them. We're going to talk in a moment about really trying to sculpt them out and really feel the space. But for now, if we can get a gestural cube as simple as we can, that's good. And what we're going to be doing with these cubes is dragging lines from 3 of the corners in a single direction. Okay, so I'll do it with a few more. So this one goes down, and this one goes up. This one goes up in the other way. And I'll do the down ones down here. And what you do is you complete, after you drag, and you just complete the original shape, that being this here. And voila, you've got a cube. We'll do it again, step by step, breaking that down. Step 1, square. Step 2, choose a direction to drag in. And step 3, you complete the shape based on the first step. So 1, 2, and 3. Cubes! Terrific. So, depending on the direction that we drag them in, the orange lines, we can determine whether we're looking down at the top of a cube or up at the bottom So that's really, really important to understand. And if we can control the way that we're looking at the cube, we can be in pretty good shape. So practice some cubes and see if you can control whether we're looking up or down at them. The next thing that I want to do, I registered, is talk about proportions. So I'll leave my cubes here in case you want to see, and we're going to talk about proportions because the exercise that we're going to do now is called brick. It's called cube. I'll write that down. Brick and queen size mattress. And it's pretty self-explanatory. The proportions of each of these, a cube being a perfect cube, a brick being a recognizable brick, and a queen-size mattress being its own shape, is a proportional challenge. But if you need an extra challenge, I want you to make the cube perfectly smooth, the brick gritty as a brick is, textured and imperfect, and the mattress lumpy and also imperfect, not lumpy and limp. So let's see if we can make that happen. I'm going to use this colored pencil. And in order to get my cube feeling, quote, perfect, I need to really consider that I'm like sculpting the thing out. Really being aware of where the point of my pencil is, so that if I have to trim it down to get it more square, I can do that. Almost there. I'm doing it in blue so that when I think I'm in the shape I want to be in, I can go back and finish the drawing in graphite. The idea here is that the blue is for sketching and searching, and that the graphite is for finishing. Another way to do this would be any kind of pencil would be for sketching, blue or black, and then ink would be used to finish. So there's my, it's not perfect. It's sure not perfect. I don't want to make excuses, but I'm physically reaching a little bit. So I've got the same kind of distortion problems that I deal with when I'm on the whiteboard. So say I love you. So that's as perfect a cube as I think I can get. If we need to do another one another way, this is also in 2-point perspective, so that might be confusing for you. So let's do the 1-point perspective cube. That starts with a perfect square, as perfect as I can get it. And then I'm going to drag as consistently as I can, and then I'm going to replicate the front as consistently as I can. So now it's much easier in 1-point perspective than in 2. Here, nothing is being pinched, right? All these lines, all the drag lines are parallel, right? They'll continue and never touch. But let's do another one where they pinch a little bit. Trying to get that cube, that square, nice and even. It's not perfect, but I can imagine what it might be like if it was. And then I'm going to say I want all these drag lines to pinch to this orange mark. So I'm going to get my ruler out, and I'm going to put my thing there, line it up. 1, 2, 3. Look at that, trained professional. Okay, and then I'm just going to close it off as needed, using the same shape of the front. That's not going to change. And what I'm going to be left with is a cube that's got the pinch of a vanishing point. So That's the way to think about perspective, a vanishing point, a pinch. Let's do a few more, and then we'll take it back to the we'll have the smooth cube in lock. So I'm going to make a few more guidelines here. I only need 3, right? 1, 2, 3, and then I'll figure out the rest based on what I've got. So 1, 2, 3. I can figure something out here. Look at this. Just another cube. Or maybe it's more of a rectangle based on the proportions here, because this is quite narrow and this is quite long. Okay, so now I've got that, and that is previewing of a vanishing point. Let's move on to the smooth, what is it? The gritty textured brick. Okay, here we go. So I think that a brick, if I'm doing it flat, like our basic cube method, I think it's like this. Wrap your fingers around it. So I have to sort of sculpt out how to make it a bit bigger. And then I'm just going to drag in the same method that we've been using. I'll go down this way, 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and then. And I think that if I close the brick here, I should be good. And I'll do a little ruler line up there. And I think that that's a pretty good brick. I'm going to finish this brick with ink. This is a, you guys know this pen? It's a, what's it, a Flair pen? A Papermate Flair pen. They've been making them since like the mid-60s, presumably without changing them. And so I'm going to ink it with a line that's a little scratchy, imperfect, and chaotic, as long as I'm mostly following the lines. And if I drag and go inside to drop a little texture, that's not a problem at all. Just bouncing my pen along. And let's see what I want to do here. I want to do some dark marks throughout, just some random, not too wiggly then, keep them nice and straight. And maybe I'll use the side on the bottom. And the lines are moving sort of in the direction of the plane. So I will do the same over here. Wish I had some white out. Some other marks and scuffs and shading stuff. And voila, a brick, sort of. Let's see, try another one. We'll try the 2-point perspective brick, where it's going to get pinched. Pinched twice. Wow, okay, let's see. So one of the pinches is over here, and then the other pinch is going to be straight across and over here. Okay, let's see if I can make that happen. So I'll connect this pinch to that corner and this pinch to that corner, and now I have to make a decision about where I'm going to cut it to make it proportionate to a brick. Remember, I think this is the short end, and I think it's the short end. If I need to shorten it a little bit, I can, or if I need to lengthen it a little bit, I can, but I think I'm good here. So the long end of a brick, I feel like cutting it here is where I want to be. Notice on this brick, my friends, that we can't see the top or the bottom. Let's see if I can fix that. I'll put the pinches lower this time. This is just going to confuse you. And this one's going here, and this one's going here. And this one's hooking up this way. And this one's hooking up this way. Notice how, like, I'm practicing my stroke, almost like if I was practicing, like, a golf swing, or if I was shooting pool, or, like, hitting a baseball. You know, you'd want to get your body in the rhythm of the motion. Okay, so now what I've got is I've got both sides. And remember, I'm pinching down to here. Now I got to draw the bottom. This is always tricky because I'm doing information over here that's got to hook up over here. And I'm going to be doing information over here that's going to pinch back over here. So you have to sort of keep your eye, like keep your eye on the ball, keep your eye on the point. So this one looks pretty good to me. And then this one's going to start here and hook up here. So I have to eyeball the connection between here and here. So it's going to hit somewhere on this line. So let's see, it's going to be something like that. Is it long enough? I don't know. I don't know if it is. Touch longer. And then once you're happy with it, you just kind of scribble over the part that didn't work. So that's the darkest side. Clean this up. I've got this line here, no problem. I'll put my second darkest side on the one that's got the little screw up on it, and then I can erase this, and then for further clarity, we'll erase the original vanishing point, which was here and here. And I think you'll see something in the shape of a brick again. Okay, very nice. Now we have to do the lumpy queen size mattress. So I think that, first of all, let me draw a flat bed from memory. I know if you try, you could all do something like this, right? This is what a bed looks like from the side with a blanket coming off of it. And then if you put the floor on, it's easier to understand sort of what the thing is supposed to be doing. Voila. So that's like a twin size bed. So now I want to do like a queen size mattress. And for me, the way that it's really easiest to do this is to draw the flat parallelogram freehand on top first, which I know sounds crazy, but that's the way that it's easiest for me to sculpt the proportion and the perspective on the thing. And then the other lines are easy, because if I can get this shape correct, freehanding the parallelogram, it's just perfect. Not perfect, but it's good enough. I'm not going to let the perfect get in the way of good enough. If I can get this shape more or less correct and balanced, the top shape, the green shape, then the orange shapes that sort of connect, you know, it doesn't really matter what happens. So there's my lumpy mattress. And to make it lumpy, let's see if I can get it lumpier in this. I'm going to use sort of a wiggly, squiggly line. That's still going to stay in my orange, but it'll wiggle a little bit. And I feel like there's like buttons on the mattress. And if you draw them the right way, they will symbolically cartoon those little lumpy bulges. So if you're observant about the way things fit together, you'll be able to create little symbols that will communicate what they're supposed to be without drawing a realistic thing ever in your life. That's the nature of cartooning. So that's the lumpy mattress. I screwed that up. No problem. Okay, what's next on the agenda? Okay, cars. Fantastic. Can you draw a car? Let's see. I bet that you can draw something that looks like this. Step 1. Step 2. Add the wheels. And then some details. Something like that. How about this? Watch this. We're going to apply exactly the same idea that we did to the cubes up here to the cars. This car right here, that was the car off camera. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And finish the shape. And this one's tricky because it's hidden, so you just kind of drop it in there. Okay, so let's try a couple more cars of this nature. Let's do a pickup truck. This one you can see inside the bed of the pickup truck. And I'm going to reinforce the direction of these planes with a few simple lines. Just like I can do that back here. And what I want you to do is try to draw your own car from memory, a specific type of car. Is it a sports car? Is it a bus? Bus is easy. Is it like a stock car? Is it, a station wagon? Is it an 80s station wagon? Rolls Royce. See if you can do those from memory applying this method, and then see if you can make that happen after doing a very quick Google image search of the car that you're trying to draw. Do not look at it before you draw it. That's the whole point. Once from memory, a second time from reference. Using this method to give the car a little bit of dimension. We'll try that once more for those of you in the back with a simple bus, right? Here's a city bus, and I'll put just a touch of detail on with the windows and the door and the light, right? And then it says NYC, baby. Cool. All I'm going to do is drag 1, 2, and 3, nice and parallel. I'll do an orange. 1, 2, 3, and I'll complete the shape so that it is proportionate to the, the rectangular cube that the bus is trying to be. I'll use the top of these just to reinforce the cubic shape, if that helps. And since it's a bus, underneath is a little bit of ground. Okay. The big challenge for you is going to be, so this is the easy end of the spectrum, and the difficult end of the spectrum is going to be doing it with a little bit of perspective. So that will look like this. I'll get rid of this. So if you're going to do a car with a little bit of perspective, you're going to want to set up 2 vanishing points, and then just a simple dotted straight line between them, as straight as you can get it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then some guidelines, not a ton, radiating out. Okay, so everything above the dotted line, everything above is the sky, and everything below is the earth. And so if I do just a couple more of these guidelines, maybe 4 on each side, you will start to see that 3-dimensional grid develop. So let me know when and if you see the sky and the earth coming together. So let's try to do a car. It's just going to be like the same sedan that we've been drawing the whole time. So we're going to try to find the center. Look, you can see my axis points don't line up straight. So it's already not perfect, but still clear enough. So I want to be able to see the top of the sedan. So I'm going to start down here, and I like these 2 lines, so that they make a lot of sense to me. So I'll start drawing the basic body shape that we've been working on, and then this is going to be where the headlights are. So this can hook up like that, and then this side of the hood is going to be to this. So this has to go to here. I'm just going to keep going, like rocking back and forth as I figure out the shape of this thing. Okay, so I've crossed the horizon line. So now I need to hook these two up. This is weird. Oh, it's gonna go to this one. So I need orange. I'll mark this one orange. That one blue. So orange to this one is gonna, oh look, I've already got the guideline. So the deal with the guidelines is that they should be pretty light. And then this one is gonna take me, if you think I'm too high, then I'll come back down like this and like that. And then maybe this has to be extended in order to actually be proportionate. And then this line right here is the trickiest one because I'm doing my business over here, but I got to keep my eye on the ball over here. So it's good for me to put my non-drawing hand, my finger literally on this. That sort of gives me a hand-eye coordination boost. But it's not very long very long line anyhow, so it doesn't make much of a difference. And so to do the tires, I'm just going to draw one tire that sort of makes sense. And then I'm going to take my green line from the bottom to this, and that's going to tell me where the back tire is going to hit the ground. So this line's going to go like that. And then the back tire is going to be like, it's going to, where's the back tire start? I'll start from the top and line that up too. And it looks like it goes from here to here, but it's too far up. So how about here to there? That sounds good to me. So it's this oval shape that I'm playing with. And it's going to go like that. And then the rest of it, all the details, I don't need to measure them out because I have this angle and this angle. So I can just sort of eyeball a lot of the extra stuff, dropping in details that are in my visual memory databank. What's on the inside of the car? You know, a bunch of stuff. I can't draw it like totally photorealistic, but I can give you enough like symbols that you can figure it out. Okay, now check it out. My car's super boxy. Look, I've indicated this curve, and that really is like a big part of the deal here, is that you're not bound to the box. You can sort of sculpt within the box, and that's how you can get sort of more modern curves or organic shapes out of the foundations that are kind of rigid and mechanical. So now I'm using this dyeing pen to sort of finish it. So something like this would be the challenge where you're setting up two different vanishing points. I think I have another video to record, but that's a very good intro to perspective. We're going to work on these skills, and then we'll come back with the hack, how to do this the fake way using very simple shapes, the letter Y and the Mercedes-Benz logo. I'll see you next time. Thanks.